Good morning, guys. Today I'm very excited. It's our first lesson using two-point perspective. I've been kind of waiting for this because we've all been leading up to this moment. We've been practicing utilizing one-point perspective in different applications, and now is the time to start working on our two-point perspective. This should be a pretty short and sweet video. This isn't terribly complicated. But if you find that you have any questions during this process, you can just go ahead and shoot out a question. I would try to answer it the best I can. So, supplies will be pretty easy for this project. You guys are going to need a ruler, a piece of paper, copy paper works, or a sketch pad, and a pencil. I've said in the previous videos that I like to use a mechanical, especially when doing any kind of perspective drawing. But if you don't have one and you just have like a regular pencil, something like this, that's fine. You can use this. You just want to keep like a sharpener nearby because a nice crisp tight line is best. Now, if you haven't done any of the one-point perspective videos along this way, you still can do this project. It'd be great for you to go back and watch some of them, but if you haven't, you can still do this with me. Okay, so let's start. So what I'm going to do is use my ruler. I'm going to make a line right down the middle of my paper. This will be my horizon line, it's called. So I'll hold firmly the ruler and draw a line. Okay, now comes the fun part. If you were doing one-point perspective like we did last time, you have 1 point, and it can be anywhere on the horizon line. Mine just happens to be in the middle. Every line that you do goes back to this 1 point, hence the one-point perspective. With two, however, you're actually going to have 2 points of perspective. So I'm going to put one over here. So this will be my left vanishing point. Let's see, LV. And then way over here, I'm going to put my right vanishing point. So I have 2 points for my vanishing. Now they can be anywhere. That doesn't really matter for this, but just put them on opposite sides of the paper. Now, last time, here's a little bit of the difference of what 1 and 2 point perspective is. When we're doing 1 point perspective, we drew little boxes first. So you drew the whole face of the box, and we drew them on the top and the bottom or wherever we wanted to. And then the points went back. With 1 point perspective, you actually don't draw a box. You just draw lines. So here's how you're going to start it. Doing them above and below and on the horizon line, I'm going to just draw vertical lines. Like that's it. You see, just lines. There's no boxes. Varying sizes, so some of them are long, some of them are short. Above and below the horizon line, close and far away from the vanishing points. All that creates different looking boxes. Okay, so you'll see I've just drawn lines. Easy. Okay, now comes the fun part. We have 2 points to go back to. So let's start with this guy in the middle. This is a point, and this is a point. I have to go to the right 2 times and to the left 2 times. So use your ruler. I'm going to get to the bottom of my line and attach it to my left vanishing point. Line. The top of my point to the left, line. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the right. Okay. So we've created this sort of like giant diamond. That's what you should have so far. Now we have to actually establish the box. So like I said, from last time, we had a box. We start with the face of the box and then we create the perspective. We don't even have a box yet, so that's our job, is to make a box. Now, using a ruler, we're going to turn it vertically. You're going to create a vertical line, and this creates the depth of the box. So now I have some lines to erase. I'm going to erase inside my box and on the outer side of my box. Just enough so you can see where it is. Now this will be the most strange looking box because it's straddling the horizon line. We're going to get much more interesting as we hit the ones below or above. Now I'm going to show you real quickly. We're not going to be able, because I'm straddling the horizon line, I can't see the top and I can't see the bottom. So this is probably the most boring. So we're done with this one. Let's move on to one on the bottom so we can start getting more interesting. So repeat the same process. Here is the points, the top and the bottom. I'm going to connect to the left side. I'm deliberately not finishing the lines all the way to the horizon line for this one because it's going to go over this line here. So that's just how I'm doing it. I just don't want to have to erase quite so many lines, but if you need to do that because it makes it easier for you, please do. But this one I am because I'm not going to be intersecting anything. Okay, so I have another V, but you see this one's a lot tighter than the last one. Now I'm going to create my box, take the vertical line. So this is exactly the same as that first one. We're just repeating. Now, I want you to see something. I can't see the bottom. The bottom is just, I can't see underneath, I should say. But I would be able to see the top. So here's where the 2-point perspective gets really interesting. This point over here on the left and this point over here on the right are the points that we're going to be using perspective on. Now, this is what I always think is kind of fun. They're actually opposites. So the left mark is going to go to the right. The right mark is going to go to the left. So I'll start with the right. Take this point and go to the left vanishing point. Now take the left and go to the right. Now I'm not going to go all the way through because I'm going to go right through my box, so I just stopped. But I want to show you something. Do you see where the lines intersect? That is your box. So where the two lines intersect, that's your box. So now I'm going to get rid of all the extra lines. I'm just going to fill in the top so you can clearly see it on the paper, because I don't know how much you guys can see on the video. Here is the top of the box. See that? All right, now let's keep going. Let's do one of the ones on the top so we can see underneath of the box. So I'm going to repeat the same process. This is my point on the bottom. Here's the point on the top. Take all your points to the right and the left vanishing points. Now you guys should let me know after you've tried this a few times. I actually think that 2-point perspective is way more fun than 1 point. And the applications for it are more interesting perhaps. But you guys have to let me know after you've tried it a few times what you like best. 1 point or 2 point. Okay, here's my giant V again. So now I create the depth of the box. So I use my ruler and I'll make a vertical line. So here's the side of the box here. And here's the side of a box over here. So now same things. Here is the left point. Here is the right point. So the right line is going to go to the left is going to go to the right. Okay. Okay, see how they intersect right there? So that is my box. So I'm going to get rid of all of the extra lines. I didn't remind you guys with this video, try to make sure you're drawing all of your extra lines lightly, because with perspective drawing, you always erase a lot. So make sure that you're drawing lightly. Okay, I'm going to fill in the bottom again so you can clearly see the bottom of the box. This has nothing to do with real shadow, just so you can see it. So there is the bottom of that box. So now I'll just do another one with you guys, just so you can clearly see how to keep doing it. And they will be different depending on how close they are to one of the vanishing points. The box will look a little bit different. How are you guys following along? Is anyone confused or is everyone doing okay? Yeah, see, this one's gonna be really tight. So I drew this one really close to the right vanishing point. So you'll notice that this one's gonna be a very tight box over here. Now, what I'm trying to work you guys to is at some point I would like us to work on a cityscape. But it's good to have all this information first. Make your job a lot easier. Otherwise, this is pretty difficult. All right, make my vertical line. I'll make this guy pretty long on this side. And I'll make him long on this side. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I made a nice long box. Now, the edge, go to the opposite side. I think I've said this before in other projects. I think things like this are really fun to do because they're sort of the mindless exercises. If you are watching a movie, listening to some music, you can just crank out quite a few of these pretty easily, and it's just good practice. I'm erasing all the extras. And here is the bottom. Okay. Looks like I'll do one more. I know I have 2 more lines, but I'll just do one more. So you can see how with the 2-point perspective, we see a lot more of the box, if you will. So before, oh, that didn't get a line. Before with 1 point, you always see the front of your box plus 2 sides. So this has like the top and the side plus the front. With 2-point perspective, however, you always see both corners of your box, which I see. I use a tissue box a lot of times to show. If you see the front edge and you see both sides coming off, plus a bottom or a top when you see 2-point perspective. 1-point perspective, you don't. And then what gets really fun is when we start working on 3-point perspective, we actually work on depth as well as the sides. But that's probably several videos from now. That's a little bit more complicated. That's probably the one that the most I would start describing it in class, and I'd get the kids with the deer in the headlight look. And what's really cute is when they still nod, though. They nod their head like they know what you're talking about, but they have no idea. And so we'd go over it a few more times, and usually visual aids help, which on the video, this is kind of hard to do with the tissue box. Usually I would grab the tissue box, and I would explain it with the tissue box. Today I stole my mom's tissue box, which is kind of a precious commodity right now. I will be giving it back. Okay, so there's my last box that I'll probably be doing. So the next thing to do, just for fun, I would erase all the extra lines because I have a lot of them. And then if you want to make them just cleaner and more crisp, you can either go over them again with a pencil line and just kind of make them stronger and darker. Or you can even use a pen, which let's see if I have a pen. I have a felt tip pen. You can always go over your lines with like a pen and just make them nice and crisp if you wanted to. But that's just to make it look a lot cleaner. But that was it for the 2-point perspective video. I will try to be doing another one either today or tomorrow because this was so simple and we can start building on this and making it more complicated. But I want to talk to you guys while I have you. Make sure you guys join in tomorrow because we'll be practicing how to do our still life project using toilet paper, since I think we all have our toilet paper at home laying around. So make sure you get your supplies ready for tomorrow. We'll be needing toilet paper, and you'll need a Q-tip or a blending stump and a pencil. And I'll see you guys for how to set up and draw a still life using our toilet paper stash. Thanks, guys. And if you have any questions, let me know. But as always, please post your pictures in the comment section so we can have a look. I love seeing what you guys are working on. Thanks, guys. Bye.